Thanks, Allison. You're the greatest.
How do we get both of us in there, side by side, gallery, do this?
Yeah, that's fine, because you will be sharing screen most of the time, right?
Yeah.
So, even like it's not the same as a panel where you want everyone to be spotlighted on the screen.
That's fine. Even with the panel, we did not have everybody spotlighted.
That's right.
So all is good. All is good.
All right. So it's 9:01, and we already have over 100 people online. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight for our Thursday's Coffee Club Talk. Tonight, we're delighted to invite back Carmela. If you are here with us in October, you might have recognized her face and mine, because we were involved in putting together the career panel back in October. So, and for the new friends who are joining us for the first time, thank you for coming. And so first of all, let me just go through very quickly some quick introduction about Chinese Coffee Club and WizWise Academy. The Chinese Coffee Club is a New York registered 501c3 nonprofit. It's designed to provide a platform for Chinese to promote collaborations and alliances. Since the COVID, it has provided so many different lectures and webinars online, and has greatly made our life more colorful during this lockdown time. WizWise Academy is a sister organization for Chinese Coffee Club. Its vision is to provide high quality, practical, and affordable finance and investment education for all ages. So if whether you are adult, a young adult, or K-12, you will find different courses that fit your need. WizWise Academy also provides career training, job internships, and various vocational education and coaching services. If you are interested in joining Coffee Club or WizWise Academy, in terms of different WeChat groups, there are so many WeChat groups that we have: investments, options, VC, education, culture, you name it. Please make sure you can scan the QR code on the bottom right of the screen and ask to add to whatever group you are interested in. And some quick announcements of upcoming talks. Tomorrow, we're honored to have Lucy Chen. She is one of the top 50 most powerful women in technology. And she's going to share with us her journey, from education to tech executives, and how she is able to succeed in US companies. And then on Sunday, we're going to have our beloved speaker, Tang Li, back. He's going to give us a review of the tech stocks Q1 earnings. And make sure you tune in early, because it's really hard to grab a spot. And then on Saturday, we have a former admissions officer from Princeton, Sylvia, to share with us how to prepare for college admission in the United States. And you can scan the QR code on the right to add to the specific WeChat group. There are many different courses that are offered through WizWise, such as communications and leadership, writing, speaking, you name it. Make sure you check the website, and also you can contact the WizWise Academy for any further questions regarding any of the programs. And again, these are the QR code. If you're interested, take a picture or scan them. And so make sure that you can get added to any of the groups you're interested in. All right, so that's enough about my spiel. Tonight, we're here to hear Carmela to share with us some tips on how to improve your business writing as a non-native speaker. And I have my greatest pleasure to introduce Carmela, who is my beloved friend, mentor, and coach. And Carmela is a dynamic executive leadership and business communication coach, consultant, mentor, and speaker. For over 20 years, she has partnered with non-native English-speaking senior executive leaders in Fortune 500 companies to effectively communicate and lead across cultures and languages, helping them gain a powerful voice, build stronger relationships, and attain job satisfaction. Carmela has lived on 3 continents, speaks 3 languages, and has pivoted her education and career several times. Her multicultural, multilingual, and multidisciplinary background affords her a unique perspective, while her experience fosters a trusting relationship with her clients. She holds degrees in international business, education, and teaching English to speakers of other languages. She also holds a number of different certifications, including the ACC from International Coach Federation, Results Coaching from Neuroleadership Institute, Executive Coach from Center for Executive Coaching, CPQC from Positive Intelligence, and last but not the least, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusivity in the Workplace. Having experienced so many transitions in cultural diversity, Carmela has made it her mission to help international professionals navigate past their challenges towards personal and professional success. And fun fact, she is formerly a performing classical pianist. So let's welcome Carmela, and the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Julia. Wow, I am completely honored and so incredibly excited to be invited back to present and facilitate a program in front of this wonderful community. This is absolutely my pleasure. I have worked with hundreds of executives and leaders and professionals and many professionals from China, including students at a university as a professor for cultural language there. So interestingly, thank you so much again for this Wise for introducing this program. Rachel and Jolene really appreciate it. An absolute thank you, my wonderful friend, Julia, who is going to be co-hosting. And we figured we're just going to, in between my presentation, we're actually going to just have a conversation. So a couple of pointers for you in here is we have a chat option on the bottom. So even though this is a webinar, I really love to have the participants add their thoughts, and I would like as much participation from you as possible. We will be taking some questions during the presentation in the chat, and then at the end of this program, would love you to actually raise your hand and we will call on you to ask your questions. I will try to answer as many as I can, and whatever we cannot answer today, I hope that you will consider joining us for the 8-week program that VisWise is offering for business writing for international professionals, which is going to start on the 27th. Also, if possible, when you come in, please mute yourself so that we can avoid any extraneous noise during the presentation, and just have fun. And I really look forward to hearing your questions and your comments. So I'm going to share my screen right now to make sure that, let's see what we have in here. Oops, how are we doing? Can you see it? Beautiful. Yes. Okay. So we thought it would be kind of appropriate to say, wake up from the nightmare of business writing in English, because many people that I've worked with, many of my clients said, oh my God, this is so challenging for me. I really don't like it. It's an absolute nightmare. It takes me too long. There's so many different challenges. Please wake me up. So we thought it would be appropriate to just say, let's wake up. So I asked, oops, let's see how we can move this forward. Maybe this. Oh, I asked Rachel to share some questions and have a survey that the participant can reply to. And one of the questions that I asked is, what is your relationship with writing in English, business writing in English? And I am absolutely thrilled to see that 10% of you actually love it. You just can't get enough of it. You look forward to writing, you look for opportunities, and you do it quickly and effortlessly. For those 10%, I would like to ask you, whenever possible, whenever you have a voice, please write in the chat, what is your secret? What is your success? And if you have any comments or suggestions as we go through, please share, because you and I can just be working here together. 50% actually said, it's okay, I write when I need to. Not too worried. Wonderful. What is it that you would need to do to get you to writing in English is, wow, love it. So start thinking about that. 30%, as you can see, not very excited. English is frustrating and time consuming, where 10% of you said, oh my, it is a nightmare. So again, if I can just ask everyone to mute, that would be fabulous. All right, as expected, when I asked what your challenges were, 60% said vocabulary, 60% structure. We have in here clarity. We have grammar in here with 40%, too many rules and too many exceptions. I do have to tell you that during the workshop, the 8-week workshop, I will show you that actually there are less exceptions than you think. So looking forward to sharing that with you. Punctuation. Do I put a comma? Do I not put a comma? Is it a colon? Is it a semicolon? Is my period go inside the parentheses? Does it go outside? Oh, how frustrating. Okay. And 40% of you actually said that you think in Chinese and then you write in English. Well, for those of you who are part of that, I have to tell you, words translate, but the meaning of the words does not, because it has to cross that cultural bridge. And we'll talk more about it. I will not talk as much about it today, but at another day, yes. And clarity. Sometimes you may be misunderstood, or sometimes you may misunderstand an email that you have received. And finally, confidence. How important is that? And Julia, I know that we already have been getting some comments in there. So whenever you feel like it's time, feel free to interrupt and just let me know what is going on. All right.
Good. Will do.
So the question is really, what's in it for you? Why is good business writing so important? So concise, clear, and effective business writing is a challenge for most writers. You are not alone. Native English speakers also find it quite challenging. And so feel comfortable with that. That is okay. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And of course, there is that added complexity of being non-native English speaker where you have to deal with the language. But one thing we have to make clear is that effective writing is an absolute must for success in business. And the question is why? Well, the primary answer is that most business today, especially now in the virtual world, is conducted through writing. It's conducted in writing. Think about it. Well-written proposals lead to more business. And then more business, of course, leads to more revenue, more bottom line, more money. When you write memos, emails, and reports, and they're well written, it leads to understanding and informed decisions. Knowing how to write more effectively and efficiently also frees up your time and energy for other activities. And let's face it, it reduces stress. And effective communication is probably one of your performance evaluation criteria. And ability to write is going to be one of it. Good writers also perceived as more credible and trustworthy. That means that you become more influential. You have more impact in your organization. Think about persuasion. If you want to persuade someone, you have to have that trust, and you have to be perceived as credible. That's the key for you. And really, if I know how difficult it is for an international professional to feel that they really can express, so they're well understood and they're express their full potential. Good writing is going to help you show the full potential, the full extent of your expertise and knowledge. And finally, it really does boost your confidence. And we know with confidence comes good performance. So let me just do one thing. I am so sorry. Okay. So let's okay. So what we're going to do today, today is really like a big picture overview of the different ways that different tips and different solutions and different ways that you can handle those challenges, but as a big picture. We're not going to go into, and here's a good vocabulary, we're not going to go into the weeds. We're not going into the detail. Again, it's a big picture. So today I'm actually going to provide you with 5 quick tips. Tip number 1, write to express, not impress. Tip number 2, build relationships and gain trust, and do that first. Once you have that, we can address the rest. Meet your audience's needs, determine best structure and organization. This addresses some of the concerns that we saw before. And then finally, edit and proofread. Do not keep rewriting. I know it takes a lot of time for you to write your emails, because emails is most probably the primary form of communication that you use right now. And that takes the most amount of time at work. Something to remember, and if you don't remember anything else from today's presentation, please remember one thing. People suffer from too much information, and people forget fast. What did I just say? You forgot it already. Okay. Take a look at the statistics. Pretty crazy, is it? 3 billion business emails written a day in 2020 globally. 40 emails a day on average, about 5 hours. How many of you agree with that? Please write it in the chat. What do we have? How many emails a day do you see?
For me, it's definitely more than 40.
Okay. Anybody else from the audience? How many? Give us a number. Throw a number in. What do we have? Okay, let's move on. Okay. So as I mentioned, that today we're going to start exploring some of the challenges and the nightmares. And one of the difficulties is clarity and concision, making sure that it's short to the point. And many of you said that you don't have a lot of vocabulary, or you don't have enough vocabulary. I'm going to give you a very, very important tip. You don't need extensive vocabulary to write well. You do not need extensive vocabulary. You do not need to impress with your vocabulary. You just need to express your thoughts. Say it with me. Write to express, not to impress. And I see a couple of hands up. If you have a question, if you could right now put it in a chat, and then Julia will give me those questions. That would be very helpful. I will take hands up at the end of the program. So Shelly and Shangjian. All right, but I do see you. Thank you. So let's take a look at it. We're going to start looking at some examples. I'm going to give you real examples, something that I've received, something that I got. Thank you from your beautiful community. So the first one is be concise. That means don't give me 15 sentences. See how you can connect those sentences together. Use specific language. Use varied language. It doesn't have to be complex. Just find another synonym. Use specific verbs. Use specific vocabulary. Be explicit. Don't make them guess. This is not an Agatha Christie murder mystery. Tell me exactly what you want and what you want me to do, and I'll be happy. And then be clear in structure and content. Let's take a look at an example. Okay. So here is an example of an email. Please take a quick second to read it, and I will also read it to you. Just move this up here so I can see this. Okay. Yishi is still, hi Lisa, Yishi is still waiting for your budget projections. Her deadline for submitting them to the CFO is around the end of April, and they require 2 weeks to review what you've recommended. So please send them on time. What does that mean to you? Please write in a number in here from me. When should Lisa send it? Please guess a number. It's okay, you're not getting graded. Do we have any numbers? Do we have any guesses?
We've seen April 15, couple of April 15, mid of April, ASAP.
ASAP. Okay, look how many interpretations we have in here. Wouldn't it be much clearer and much better if I did not have to count back from end of April and try to figure out when, if I had this. Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Please submit your budget projection to Yishi by April 14. She needs 2 weeks to review your suggestions and must send the projections to the CFO by April 30th. Wow. Okay. Thank you for your help. I am now acknowledging you. I've connected with you, Brad. And notice, subject line in here would be budget projection to Yishi by 4:15. And this really should be 14. So there is a little bit of inconsistency in here. My apology. Okay, I hope somebody caught it, not just me. All right, so you see how much clearer this is. Okay, here is another example. As you probably heard already, we will be returning to the office on July 1st. While this is a big change after a year of virtual work and you may not want to spend time on another online course, given that you're probably busy, we've developed a 3-hour self-study course to help you prepare for, I'm running out of breath just reading this first sentence. It is mandatory and explains our COVID-19 protocols, which will help protect you and others working in the physical space around you. Exhausting, isn't it? This is a real email. What's wrong with this picture? Please, in a comment, just write one thing that is not working for you here.
Too long.
It is too long. What else? Does it have the information?
Not clear, not concise.
It's there, but it's buried. I have to look for it. I have to go through all those other words to find what really is important. What if my information was given to you this way? What's the purpose? To help ensure your safety when we reopen our office on July 1st. We've developed, what did we do? We have a 3-hour mandatory online self-study course that explains our COVID-19 protocols. What do I want you to do with it? Please take the training before June 25th. And let's keep each other healthy and safe. How does that sound? It's clear, to the point, it's concise, it has all the information. So as you can see, I don't need to do verbal gymnastics to be effective. Keep it simple, keep it clean, and notice one more thing, and Julia, you asked me about it the other day. Why do I have so many spaces? So here is no spaces. Here is spaces. Which one do your eyes look at and say, this takes less effort? Probably this one. Am I correct?
Totally agree. Yes, people agree. Someone did ask a great question. Do you think native speakers also make these mistakes, or is it just for non-native speakers?
Oh gosh, native speakers make these mistakes all the time. I do workshops not just for non-native. I did a workshop for the military. Very high level. We had engineers, we had finance with master's degrees, doctorate degrees in engineering, and their writing was atrocious. So it is the same for you as it is for the native speaker. The only other component that the non-native English speaker has is really the language. So the mechanics of the language, and really the confidence and trust in yourself that you have enough to be effective and to be a good writer. Okay, I hope this answers the question. Okay. So having discussed, having given you a little bit of taste of what clear email looks like, what are your thoughts about this? Now, I do not have a rewritten version, but this is something I want you to look at and make yourself a note somewhere to say, you know, this is what she could do. And if you want to share in the comments, please do that. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to look at it. And I have a question for you. Just looking, this is not really working for me in here. My computer doesn't want to participate. I want you to look at this, given that I'm thinking to extend the program. That meaning what? It's unclear. Okay, so one other little tip that I have for you in here, when you use pronouns, when you use something that refers to something else, please make sure when you read it aloud so you can hear yourself. Not only inside, you can hear yourself. Sometimes we recognize when something doesn't sound right when we hear it. And make sure that we know exactly what you refer to. Let's take a look at another example. Okay. So relationships, and relationships. Relationships equal trust. Do you remember what I mentioned in the beginning? If you have trust, you have credibility. If you have credibility, you have influence. If you have influence, so on, so on, so on. Once you've established that trust and established that relationship, it's okay to send a one-line email. It's fine. The person knows you, you know them, but not to begin. So it's okay to pick up a phone and establish a relationship. So what does it mean to have a good relationship and have trust? That means you are being heard and the person that you're talking to hears you and is concerned about you and is respectful of your style. We always want to accommodate the other person. We cannot change what comes to us, but we can change what goes out. So stronger relationship, better understanding, knowing and trusting, quicker response, cooperation and collaboration, and better results. So know your reader's communication style. How do they communicate? Do they do a lot of chit chat? Do they ask you about your family? And if so, when you respond, accommodate their style. How direct are they? Do they just want to go straight to the business? How formal or informal are they? Hey, Julia, how is it going? Do you have a good weekend? Cool. You know, we should get together for drinks sometime.
For sure.
Okay, let's do that. Okay. Careful of curtness. And what does curtness mean? That means being too brief, where it is perceived as too sharp or rude in the American standard. And I have to say that many of my Chinese clients, even though they did not mean to sound curt, actually sounded curt because they were either too direct or because of the pronunciation and how they were pronouncing something when they were speaking. They sounded like this, so like that. And it's right away, it makes the other person move or shudder back. Okay. So take a look at the difference between these two emails. I hope you had a great weekend at Lake George with your daughter. Aw, I would love to chat with you about your trip because we were planning on going there also next month. Oh, by the way, here's a little business thing. Per our discussion last Friday, attached is the contract you requested. And finishing up again in that sandwich, my relationship building. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to hearing all about your trip. Regards. And here's another style. Marina, attached is the contract you requested. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Best, Jasmine. Not rude. It's perfect. It's great. It saves me time. It doesn't expect me to read your whole life story. But if this is how you send it to me, I want to respectfully answer you in the same polite, neutral way. Okay. This was an exchange of 2 emails. Are you sure you want to wait 3 weeks before our next meeting? That seems a bit long in between. Perhaps we could shoot for the week of the 16th. Talk soon, Ahmad. And the response was, no names, no closing. I'm busy next week. I'm busy that week. I gave some dates, times for next week, if you wanted to do that as well as May 11th. As soon as the person reads this email, doesn't matter if you're direct, indirect, want relationship, the first reaction of an American reader of this is going to be, never mind, I don't really want to deal with that person. Any thoughts or comments so far? What do we have in there, Julia?
You were saying this is very rude.
And yet, this is the email that was sent by an executive. And it doesn't matter if it's going up, down, or across. Really does not matter. Okay. You want to also be considerate of your audience. You want to make sure that you meet their needs. Who is your reader? Remember, writing is not about you. Writing is about them. Similarly to presentation. When you present, when I teach my clients, when I work with my clients on presentation skills, I tell them, don't focus on yourself. The focus is not you. The focus is your reader. Don't tell me what you want to tell me. Tell me what I need to know. Okay? So if I am a technical reader, I'm okay with details and technical language. If I'm in upper management, I probably just want the big picture. I want to go on the bottom line. And this is with him. What's in it for me? And for the most part, you always want to address the benefit for the reader. Why should they cooperate with you? Why is this important? Okay, so you want to make sure that you include why is it important for them. Even if you're requesting something for you, why is it important for them? Let's take a look at this example. Oh, we still have structure. In addition to meeting their needs, what is the best structure? And I saw that many of you were concerned about the structure. So I'm giving you two very simple solutions in here, very simple structures. When you write an informative narrative, if you're informing, if you're telling, give them a status report, if it's any kind of information that you're providing, don't make me wait until the end of your report, your memo, your presentation to find out what it is the main idea is. Give it to me up front. That's the what. Great, you gave me the what. So what? What about it? Why is it important? Go for the why. So Simon Sinek, go for the why. Why is the most important? Now you told me what's going on, why this is important, or it's important for me or for you or for whoever. What do you want me to do with it? Now what? What's my next steps? Do I take an action? Is it just for my information? Let me know. So remember, what, so what, now what? I hope this is simple enough to remember. I told you people forget fast. If you want a simple persuasive structure, tell me what. Again, so what? Now here the what would be, what is the problem? What is the issue? People want to find a way out of a problem. Why do you buy something? Because you want to find a way out of a problem. Why do you buy a car? Because you cannot walk to New York from New Jersey or from California to Florida. You need a different transportation. So what? Again, why? What happens in this? If I continue with this problem, what happens? What happens if that what continues? Give me a solution. Give me an alternative what. Again, why is this important? What are the results of it? And finally, call to action. Why? What do you want me to do with it now? Don't leave me hanging. Okay, so far so good. You do have somewhere in your in there that you can give me thumbs up. So if you're good so far, please, I want to see some thumbs up. Everybody knows how to do that, where to find it. I believe there's a thumbs up. Am I mistaken? Julia, my technical?
Yes, I've seen more and more. There's a quick question. Just the salutation for the email. Do you do, I mean, because I personally do hi so and so. Do you recommend that? Because in your email examples, you know, a lot of them doesn't start with a hi. It's directly addressing the person, Denise or Maria.
So I think once there is no problems, hi so-and-so is completely acceptable in any situation, whether you know the person or not. You do not have to say dear so-and-so with a colon.
I used to do that.
Too formal. That would be too formal. Hi, name, first name, comma, that's all you need to do. But salutation is important, and so is the your conclusion and your name at the bottom. So regards, all best, my best, it's all fine, thanks. Sincerely, maybe a little bit too formal. Okay, I hope I answered that question. And please remember, your subject line is the key, especially if you're going to be writing to the upper management. They may not want to open all the emails right away. They should see it on the running list, exactly what the email is about. If you cannot summarize what the email is about within 6 or 7 words, most probably that email will not be opened right away, or may not be acted on right away. So make sure it is clear. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Hi, Sylvia. I hope this email finds you well. I have been in a technical probably position to contribute for 3 years since I joined the company in March of 2018. I'd like to take some courses to help me understand how I can work more efficiently with my peers and directors, hopefully increase my impact at job and learn leadership mindset for future career development. If I remember correctly, there might be reimbursement provided by the company for courses that are job related, but I'm not able to find the information from the website. Would you please help identify the information, or there might be a benefit document not online yet? If the reimbursement is available to me, how should I apply for it? Also, I'm wondering whether there are any training classes or coaching programs provided by the company to improve my language, as my English is not my first language. I want to understand better about working culture and stimulate the leadership within, hence perform better at my job or at job. Okay, and then thanks, and then, all right. So here is a question for you. What is in here the benefit for the company? Please write it in the chat. I am the manager, I care about the company, and I would like to know how will responding to this benefit me? Which of this information shows that it's going to be a benefit?
Some people say better performance of employee.
Anything else?
It's not clear. Some people say work more efficiently.
Okay, yeah.
Boost employee productivity.
Okay, excellent, yes.
Reimbursement.
Yeah. Reimbursement is the benefit for me, not for the company.
Employees.
Yeah, exactly. But was it clearly, did it pop at you? Did you see it right away? If not, I may not want to go through the whole email because I may be tired. It's going to take me a lot of effort to really put it together to figure out what it is that you're trying to say. This is a beautiful example of a very sensitive, wonderful, friendly, and loving person. How do I know it? Because it says, I hope this email finds you well. By the way, careful. It used to be okay to say it. but now too many people started saying it. You may want to avoid it, okay? But I care about how you feel. Also, it also shows I'm wondering. I would like to. Now, there are a couple of other issues with this email. There is a lot of what's called hedging. I think, I believe, I am wondering. It is not strong language that shows confidence, that shows enthusiasm. It does show enthusiasm, but it doesn't show confidence and potential for leadership. Okay? You want to dazzle like a brilliant ring. All right. So yes, let me know, first of all, what, so what, now what? And in it, what is it with me? How do I, the reader, benefit? Here is rewritten. I'm interested in taking several courses to improve my communication and leadership skills to help me grow as an individual contributor and a team member. These skills will also help me work more efficiently and productively with my peers and directors and increase my impact in the organization. So, is there a what? Yes. Is there a so what? What's the benefit? What's the result of that what? Do we have it? Yes. Okay. What do I want? I want a course. Why is it good for you? Not only for me. Oh, I'm going to be more efficient. I'm going to contribute better, and you are going to make more money. Okay. Now what? Can you please help me with the following? Understanding the process of reimbursement and directing me to company-provided resources. That's it. I look forward to hearing back from you soon. So please, chop, chop, let's go. Please, I have a deadline, but I am very polite about it. I really hope this is helpful for you. Okay? All right. Subject line, change in schedule. Okay. Very quickly in the chat, please tell me, give me some suggestions to how you can make it better. And I'm going to give you a limit of 3 lines and a limit of not more than 10 words right now. Do we have anything?
Yes, we have people commenting that schedule change from so to so, from
Okay.
and to be more specific in the subject. And there's another one saying our team meeting was rescheduled to so and so due to holiday.
Okay. Okay. So now you're beginning to see the difference. And here is what I would probably recommend that you do. And I'll tell you why. When you look at it, how easy is it to see the information? Great. So email is a delivery system. Okay, you're not writing a novel. You're not getting a Peabody Award. You want to see it quickly, save time. Subject line, team meeting on 6/1, not 5/28. If you see this, do you really need to read the rest? May not, or may want to do it if you don't know where it is. Oops, again, there is a mistake in here. All right, I think I should be fired. I'm sorry. June 1, not May 28. Building A, room 18, 9:30 a.m., breakfast is served. Do you want to come? Oh yeah, breakfast is served. I'm there, 9:30 a.m. breakfast. next to the cafeteria where I can pick up my Starbucks coffee, we're on, baby. Okay.
Some people in the audience, some audience did pick up the difference between June 1st and June 2nd.
All right. So math is not my strong, my strong suit.
My fault. I was the one proofreading the PowerPoint.
That's it. Fire Julia, not me. All right, but you got the point. The main point is this is how you make it more concise. This is how you make it visual. Notice not only do I have the bold in here, when, where, and time, it is also indented, which makes it even easier to see. I have a lot of white space in here, so this is the structure. Disregard the content in here. Okay, we're moving on.
We do have a comment on the exclamation mark. So usually we think that, does that show a strong emotion? Should we avoid it?
Not in here. No, it depends. If you're telling someone to do it and do it quickly and then put exclamation mark, yeah. But in here, this is just really, it's important information. Remember, it's not on 528, it's on 6.1. It's okay to put the exclamation point in here because it's still neutral. It's just a matter of look. That's it. It doesn't say tone. It doesn't change the tone. Right? If you're still not sure about it, let me know. I'm also going to give you my email address at the end of this session. You're welcome to connect with me directly. And I am working with VisWise, so everything that we do goes through the company. So all is good. Okay. The PowerPoint. How many people have to write or create PowerPoints at work? Give me a thumbs up. How many do we have in here? Julia, how many times do you have to do provide reports? And sending memos or status reports are very similar. Remember one thing. If you're presenting, the PowerPoint is there only to support you. It is not the focal point, and you as a speaker support the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint always supports you. And it's even more important now that we have so many presentations virtually, because if I am going to put a PowerPoint that has a lot on it, visual always wins. Okay, keep the text minimal because of that, unless you're sending the slides to someone and they have to read it, and then support it with images. So let's say I want to talk to you and explain to you what happened in April, for highlights for April, and I'm talking to you. You will not hear me because you will be busy reading this slide. I don't want you to read the slide. It's going to take you forever. Notice, it's beautiful. Beautiful font, the numbers are highlighted, but there is still too much. This is called death by PowerPoint. Same thing with graphs and numbers. If you're giving me those little numbers and a lot of graphs and you're talking at the same time, I don't see you, I don't hear you. I'm going to be reading and trying to figure out what those little numbers say. Okay. Compare this slide with this. Now I can talk to you about 164 million total impressions that came from whatever source and when it happened. We have this wonderful artist in-house by the name of Richard Saja, who uses very brilliant colors to embroider his art. First dibs, most liked, and then this is the clutch that was most clicked on in the month of April, and this was compliments of my daughter who works for First Dibs and has shown me how different she would do the presentation if she had sent the slides and if she had presented it. However, before working with her on how to do the presentation best, this is what the slide would look like. Okay. Any questions so far?
Shelly shared her rule, which is pretty cool. She said she goes by 6x6 rule. Basically, for PowerPoint, there are no more than 6 words per line and no more than 6 lines. And she usually go with 3 points. I think that's a pretty cool idea. And then on the before and after, or the version that is sent out versus the version that is actually presented, there are people who commented, there are people who made the comment that even after the visual one, the graphical one still looks a little bit crowded. And also they're not so sure about the purpose of the slide. Is it to show productivity or is it to show something else?
So this was, so absolutely it is a little crowded, and the numbers in here in paid spend result. This is a screenshot that she sent me. So this would not be, it would probably be, could even be divided in 2 slides. It depends on how much she would need to talk about it. And definitely this paid spent results and Pinterest definitely needs to be bigger because it's still not big enough. So if you were my client, I would be absolutely suggesting that you make these, the column on the left a little bit smaller, the picture in here a little bit smaller, the first, the most liked a little bit smaller, and then paid spend and Pinterest charts, even perhaps put in a separate slide so I can very clearly see the numbers. But even with the small numbers, I see the increase in here between March and April, and again here between March and April, a huge jump. So visually, it is very clear. And if I need more information, I will either ask for it or I would zoom it. But absolutely, the comments are on point. And in terms of 6-6, some rules actually is a 7-7. The main idea is don't overwhelm your audience. Make sure that the main points are on the slide, and then the rest you either use images or you explain. If somebody wants more information and more details, they will ask you. One of the biggest challenges the non-native speakers have, they always feel that if they say more or if they give more, people will understand them better. No, trust yourself that when you say it once, it is enough. Don't repeat it. Don't try to explain more and more. I'm going to get overwhelmed. How does that resonate with everyone? We're good? Excellent. And here is my final point. Don't keep rewriting. What you wrote is perfect. However, don't write before you plan it. It seems that it's going to take longer if you have to plan, but actually it saves you time. Know what is the purpose of what you're writing. Are you writing to inform? And are you going to use what, so what, now what? Or are you going to persuade? Then you're going to use the problem what happens, why there is a problem, what happens if it problems continues, your solution, why supporting that solution, and then calling me to action. Okay, there are different structures. And again, I go much more in depth and in details during the 8-week program. Once you've decided what your purpose is, decide on your structure. Write your main points. What do you want to say? See what is not needed. Where is the repetition? Now write your email. If you can, put it aside for a few seconds, for a few minutes. Look at it, to edit it, proofread it, and edit. Please be careful with Grammarly. It's not always correct. Even the paid version, I'm sorry to say that. So plan, execute, proofread, and edit. Do not rewrite. You have great ideas, let them fly. Don't let perfection be the enemy of the done. It's okay if there are mistakes. Nobody is going to criticize your mistakes. They want to be able to see it clearly, concisely, and impactfully. And if you don't use a Webster dictionary word that you learned for TOEFL, it is okay. It's not a problem. Okay. Guess what? I hope that you join me for our 8-week workshops. Yeah, and I know that it is on a website where we will go in detail through sentence structure, punctuation, different structures, emails, presentations, memos, so on and so forth, to make you a better, productive, and happy writing. So I love writing, and this is inspiring. So my name is Carmela O Flaherty. I'm a coach, consultant, an executive coach, and a communication coach. If you want to email me, this is my email address. And now I'm going to open it to more questions. So if you would like to raise your hand, we're here for you.
Thanks, Carmela. Yeah, we have a few questions and comments in the chat. It's pretty active. Before we formally open up for questions, I want to touch on one point that a few of the audience brought up in terms of what if they would like to talk about something technical, fairly complicated. Is email or even PowerPoint a good medium to deliver those content? And some people are saying that if it's highly technical and complicated, you do need to have a little bit more content on the slides. Of course, you're going to share it before or after the meeting, right? So I think it really depends on the audience, right? On the receiving side, your audience probably, they have the background. They are technical themselves. So.
Exactly. So yes, great question. Absolutely. Like I said, know your audience. Who is your audience? If it's technical, they'll know it. Even there, you need to know how much details do they need to know right here, right now. Avoid that need to give them everything all at once. It may be too much. So go as high of a level as possible. That's where if I have a long presentation and it is technical, I will have an appendix. I will say, see Appendix A, see this, see that, and an additional information is available upon request. Have them ask you questions. Whatever it is, if it is too complicated, you're going to lose them. We only have that much capacity to get information during the presentation. Also, in terms of email, yes, you may have a little longer email, but remember, email is a way to send information. It is an electronic way to send information. If it's going to be too long, don't send it within the email. Include it in a document that you're going to enclose. I hope that this answers. If you have additional questions, please let me know. I see other people have their hands up.
And I just want to add one more point. If I can share my screen, Carmela?
Please, please.
Sounds good. Let me do that. So yeah, so basically, this is a little bit more detail about the business writing workshop that Carmela is going to be hosting from starting from May 27th for 8 weeks. And if you sign up before end of Sunday, you'll get an early bird special pricing. So, and you can scan the QR code for Wisdom Academy to get more information. So now let's take questions. If I can find out
So thank you very much, Carmela and Avi. I just want to mention that this class is especially designed for our Coffee Club and Wisdom Academy because we receive a lot of requests in the past. And then this class, it's our trial class and it's only for 10 people. We don't take any 11. So this is $7.99. It's only up to this Sunday. It's only 10 people. So if you really want to improve your writing, you send a request to me before, and I did to find the best teacher for you. And please sign up as soon as possible. And if it's everyone like it in the future, we'll invite Carmela come back again. So thank you. I just want to mention this.
Thanks, Angeline.
Yes, and also I am hoping that in the future I would also have an opportunity to work with you on presentation skills, which is going to be somewhat similar, but it's going to be presented orally. But then you're going to have great PowerPoints that would accompany you if you do need to do your presentation.
Great. So I see a few raised hands. So Erica, do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, sorry, my question is a little bit straightforward. So I just wanted to ask, I saw on your LinkedIn, your bachelor's degree is in business, and you're also not a native speaker. I guess what makes you think you're a better coach than someone who is a native speaker, or at least who studied English in college?
So first of all, thank you for the question, and I love that straightforward question. First of all, what makes me think I'm a better coach? I don't think I am a better coach. I know that for the past 22 years, my clients have had numerous promotions, have received accolades on their presentations and on their skills. And because I am, I've lived here for okay, I'm going to be dating myself, for almost 40 years, and I've studied the language and I've known the language very well. I believe that I can deliver the program for you. But if there is a native coach that you would be more interested in working with, it absolutely is okay by me. I don't think there is a difference between a native speaker that was born in here and might have not had as extensive education as I have, and a non-native speaker that has education and experience. If anything, I believe I bring with me understanding of where you come from, because I was in your shoes. I hope this satisfies that question. Please let me know.
Thanks, Carmela. Let me unmute Susan.
Yeah, thank you, the host, for giving me the opportunity. I want to express my appreciation to Carmela for a very informative session. It's very helpful to us as international speakers. I want to touch on two minor questions. One is the follow-up. You mentioned for long emails, it's better to attach the information in the document. So do you have a rule of thumb how long the email should be so that we can attach the rest in the attachment?
So here is my short question, my short answer to it. again, I don't have a lot of time to look at emails. And so if I can just see what it is that you want me to do and what you want me to look at, and then at my leisure to open that document or maybe print it and read it later, it's going to be better than having 4 or 5 paragraphs written about it. It's going to take too much of my time. So you're sort of imposing on me to read the whole thing, as opposed to, this is what the issue is. I'm enclosing this document. Please review it by such and such date. And if possible, let's get together to discuss it further tomorrow or a day after.
Okay, thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you. The other points I want to ask is, you mentioned the body of the email and touched on the subject. I want to ask about the to address line. So do you think the order of the email addresses matter? Do people pay attention to that line? Like usually, do you think the VIP people should be in the front and others will go in the order of importance, or it doesn't matter at all?
I think it doesn't. I really, you know what? Personally, I do not really pay much attention to it. However, if you feel that, and I know in some cultures, the order in which something is written is important. If you see that someone is very pedantic, is very careful about the order in which he puts the people in the CC and the BCC, follow that example. Also, it depends on who is writing to you. And if you're responding to that person, then that person should be first. And since you already mentioned that, one of the biggest challenges is the reply all, or people being CC'd on emails that are really not as important to them as, you know, so be very conscious and very careful who you're sending it to and how many people are you CCing or BCCing it to. In the same line is I don't want to see people communicating among themselves and then saying, one of the emails that I get back, reply all, thank you. And then reply all, you're welcome. It's taking too long. So if you're going to do it, make sure that it's not reply all. Just send it to me directly if you really feel that I need to see that thank you and you're welcome. So careful with the reply all and CC. And I know I did not mention it before, but if the subject changes while you have the threads and somehow you start talking about a different topic, please change the subject line, because I am not going to know where to find it. Remember, this is something that I should be able to access it very, very quickly.
We and Carmela, forgive me that some people in the chat room ask about voice reduction class. So I'm just quickly share a screen.
You mean accent reduction?
Yes. So we will have some questions. Just give me 2 minutes to answer that question. So beside your writing class, and we do have this class, everyone familiar with Jane, he came to our platform, give an hour workshop. Now he's replaced only $8. And his team, her team's actually giving us too. This is our webpage. If you go to Visualize Academy, and you can see we have the career training class. All the list is here, okay? And we have some, Cassie's Empower Professional. We have Ivy, everybody familiar with that. But then the voice reduction classes too. So this is all start from June 1st, but each class this is also based on the request. We are not sending to the groups yet because we just launched them. And those classes also take, I think so they said only take 6 students. So 6 students, this is a package usually costs $1,000, but because our student asked for it. So this 2 accent reduction class is already takes 6 students. So if you are interested, they're all professional. If you click on the class, you can see the class content and instructor, and also it's including, I think, 100 downloadable video. And I think in the future, currently Carmela is giving us the writing class. In the future, we are going to working with Carmela for maybe another different leadership, public speaking, and like some people ask for presentation skills. So if any one of you interested in any class, please feel free to contact me. And I am here to looking for the best teacher. I wouldn't say best, but at least someone that willing to working with our community with this price level. I just share this webpage. You can always go to our webpage, and if you go to class, and there's all adult career trainings here. We also investment and K-12, but tonight is all about career. So I just want to cutting short for 2 minutes since someone asked about accent reduction class. Okay, thank you. I give this back to you, Carmela, and then we.
And by the way, I just wanted to say thank you. Somebody mentioned in here that her husband is American and his writing is not very good. I am with you. My husband is also American and he has a master's degree and he is a CFO, and I correct his English and I correct his writing. So here is a native speaker versus a non-native speaker. So I think that kind of covers that. Somebody also asked me to see the Sylvia email again. I don't know if we'll get to do that. If it's important, please contact me and I will make sure to talk to you about it.
We have a few more people raising their hand. Jessie, would you like to ask your question?
Hi, Carmela. Thank you so much for the event tonight. I do have a question regarding the beginning and ending of the email. So I want to know, when should we use hi, like Bob or dear Bob, or when should we close the email with sincerely, like best regards, and most sincerely, this kind of like different words for the how to start and end the email.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Jessie, you want to first decide who you're writing to and what is your relationship with that person. If you know that person's preference, if you know how that person likes to be addressed, then that saves you a lot of hassle. Usually sincerely, or most sincerely, you would use when you write a very formal letter, and it would be to someone you don't know. I usually do not write sincerely to someone I know, so that would not be an appropriate closing. Dear so-and-so is also, even though it says dear, it is a little bit more formal than hi, hi Max. At work, if I am because America and American culture is a low context culture. That means it's not if I'm here, I'm going to talk to you one way, and if I'm here in a different place, I'm going to talk to you a different way, like it may be in Asian culture. We're quite informal, up, down, and across. So I would not have a problem writing to a manager, hi Samantha, and this is what's going on, this is what I would like to do. So hi so-and-so, hello, it's fine, or just the name and a comma. So remember, dear, name, and then colon is going to be very formal, with sincerely at the end, very formal. If you do not have the need for that, don't use it. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Chen.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Carmela. Can you all hear me? I hope so.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so Carmela, I'm interested in your opinion on the similarity and the differences between technical writing and the business writing. I'm asking not, to challenge the differences here, but honestly, I'm really interested in your class, but my company technically encourages us to attend trainings on technical writing, not necessarily business writing. I'm trying to understand the commonalities here so that I can convince my company to pay for me.
So Jen, this is a really, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I hope I'm saying it well enough. So great question about business writing versus technical writing. So business writing is technical writing is going to be a kind of a component of business writing, but it is much more, I would say, logical. It's going to be very sequential in order. It's going to have the technical jargon in it. So it's a little bit less for anybody. It's going to be specifically for technical. And this is something that is from my understanding and my knowledge, because I do not teach technical writing. So I do not want to mislead you and give you any additional information that may be incorrect. But technical writing, in my understanding, is going to be the specific writing with technical information. And correct me, please, if you see that I am mistaken, please go ahead and send me an email, and I'm always up for pushback.
Thank you.
Hi, Carmela. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. I need to communicate with my son's school teacher frequently. So to send them email, is it appropriate to address them like a Miss, Mr. with their last name, or put it high their first name? Usually, I think in the school setting, last name and Miss and Mr. will be more appropriate.
Kelly, you're absolutely right. Yes. So if you're going to be sending an email, again, because this requires more formality, and more formality will be dear Miss so-and-so, or dear Mr. so-and-so. Absolutely. That's when the formality and the dear would be appropriate. And also it depends on which school is that?
Public school.
But okay, so public school, when kids go to kindergarten or nursery school, they call their teacher by their first name, and it's going to be like Miss Kelly. So, and that age, it would be also appropriate to say, "Hi, Miss Kelly," and not by the last name. As soon as they start going to a regular school, absolutely. A last name and then a title, and they're honorific.
Okay, thank you so much.
So Miss First Name would not be appropriate unless it is for very young age. It's
okay.
going to be the honorific, the Miss and Mr. The title will always go with last name. And no, we do not do Teacher Adams.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Hi. Hello. Hi. Can I have a question?
Yes, please, Linda.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, what about if the teacher start to communicate with me with, by my first name? Like he start to call me Linda instead of Miss Young. So can I call her back or write her back with her first name?
What are your thoughts about that?
Naturally, I will, but the thing is, my son always called them Mr. or Mrs. So I'm not sure.
I would go with your instinct and your comfort zone and comfort level, because if you, for instance, write something to the teacher and call her by her first name in the email, and later on you see her, will you call her by your last name with your son next to it? So kind of think about that. What would be most appropriate and most comfortable? I sometimes have communication, and even though I said, please notice your reader's style. In this case, again, because in this case, I probably would personally go with Miss Yang instead of Linda.
Oh,
just for my son's sake, not for mine, for my son's sake, so that when I see Miss Yang in the playground, when I pick up my son, I'm not going to just say, "Hi, Linda." My son is going to look at me and like, something is not right in here. So there is another component to this. It's not as straightforward.
Great, thank you.
Hi, Carmela. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and I think it's very informative. Really appreciate that. I do have a question. So when I read my coworkers' emails, it's very impressed how they organize the sentences, how they use the correct words. So for me, I think one thing I'm struggling in business writing is to pick the right or proper words, or use the most appropriate preposition words. I don't know if you have any suggestion for that.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Sure, maybe I can repeat a little bit more. So my point is that when writing an email, sometimes we need to choose the most correct words, or using the word that's most appropriate for the content, right? It's like in my background, when we learn English at school, like we learn a lot of like fundamental, words. Like I always say, like, this is really helpful. I really appreciate. Like those are the words that we commonly use. But sometimes you will see, from coworkers writing, they use the word that not too fancy, like they're not like GRE or like really, really fancy word, but they use the word that's impressed me, and I just want to pick up a little bit of that skill.
Okay. And so what is the question about that? So you want to pick up that skill. So what is it that you try?
I wonder if you have any suggestion in terms of, what would be the best way to learn that? Because I think by, just learning the wording book, maybe not necessarily works that much. So that's why I'm just curious from your perspective, like what's your suggestion for learning, how to write, more properly and also efficiently by choosing the right word.
Okay, so I'm going to just rephrase it to make sure I got it. You use fundamental or basic words. You see your coworkers using more impressive words, or they sound nicer. You want to pick it up, and you want to know how to best amass that vocabulary so that you can pick it up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one thing that you can do is next time you write an email is take that word that your coworker used and use it. We do not learn how to drive by reading about it, right? Or watching a video about it. We do not learn how to write by also watching movies or reading about it. We have to actually do it. You can try to learn and memorize all that vocabulary as much as you want, but unless you actually use it and write, when you see that sentence and you see that word, see where it lives, and you can then reproduce it. So take out all the sentences that you like and have like a little collection so that you know where that word goes, what comes around it, what goes before it, and what goes after. And that is probably the best way to do it. To learn how to do it is by doing it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. And also during our 8-week program, I will go in much more depth in terms of how do you increase your vocabulary. And having said that, again, I'm going to say, trust your vocabulary. You're there to convey information, not to impress people with your beautiful $100 words.
Hi, Carmela.
Hi, Carmela. This is Sharon.
Can I ask a question? So very quickly, so in my daily business emails, sometimes you're on the topic that on another thread has been discussed before, and which would be relevant to this discussion. So sometimes I just attach that earlier thread into this current email. I mean, would the audience, or in your experience, is that viewed as a norm and preferred style of communicating, or should I quote the relevant parts from that other thread into this current email to, and what would be better way to communicate this relationship between the current and the previous discussed topics?
So I have a question for you, Sharon. Have you done it before?
I have done it many times, and it seems to have worked. But I mean, I never asked for feedback, I guess. But I guess my puzzle, my confusion comes from I don't see other people do it a lot.
Well, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. If people get it, if it works for you, continue to use it. I personally probably would not introduce another thread because it may get confusing. And if I do introduce another thread, I'll be very specific to say, here is information from another thread to supplement it. So there is no confusion. It is clear, and I don't assume people will understand it. But again, Sharon, if it's working for you, keep doing it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes if it's more convoluted, and after I attach the email, I would call the person and just to explain a little further. But I just haven't seen it from other people a lot, so I'm not sure whether that's a common practice.
I would not say it is a common practice. No, I probably would say take a part from that and say this came from a different thread, and here is the important information. That way you do not have to pick up the phone and call and explain and do more work and have the other person spend more time both reading the other thread and speaking to you on the phone.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Carmela. Yes. Thank you, Julie. So Carmela, thank you so much for sharing all of the tips with us. These are very helpful. I want to ask in a very short email, maybe just 3 or 5 sentences, is it necessary to highlight one sentence or some keywords just for the recipients to read it faster? Moreover, what if I have some I ask the recipients to respond by today or by tomorrow. I just highlight the date. Is it a little bit annoying? That's my question. Thank you.
I think it's just, I don't think it's, if you have one sentence, please respond, or please send this to me by such and such date. I don't think it's important. Because the information is right there. I can very easily see it. But my biggest pet peeve is to have to look for information. If I don't see it visually right away, and this is just to make it easier for me. And if it's already one sentence and the date is right there, I'm good with that. You don't have to highlight it.
Okay, so what if just 5 sentences or maybe 3? Okay, maybe I go a little bit detailed. Yeah.
So it's going to be a judgment call. So you saw the email where it said this is when is it, what time it is, and what room. So that really only had 4 lines, and 3 of them were indented. So make it easy on the reader. If it's one sentence, don't bother with it. If it's more, and you can divide it into sections, just do that.
Okay. And what if in a long a relatively long email, then is it okay to highlight the date I want the person to respond by?
So Ping, I'm really hoping that you're not going to send a long email. If you
Okay.
don't send a long email, it may want to be a document. And if it is, and if you just have to send that long email, yes, please break it down, make it visually easy for me. If I have to scroll through it, it's too long. Break it into 2 emails. Okay. There's no reason for you to write so much. If you really have so much to say, pick up the phone and talk to the person. It may be quicker, and just send them the information to support your talk.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Before we go to a few more people, can you just quickly go over the assessment part for the writing program?
To explain the assessment part?
Yes.
Absolutely, yes. Before we begin the program, I would be collecting writing samples to really understand where your challenges are so that I can target it. So in that assessment, I will ask you to write on a certain topic, just kind of free writing. I will ask you to write an email or attach an email that you have used, because that is what's more important than you just writing a random email. And then a slide from your PowerPoint to say, here is what it usually looks like. And then I would also ask you different questions. When do you use writing? What do you mostly do during the day? What do you write? And what do you do? What profession or what do you use writing for? So that kind of will give me information about you, give me an idea of where your challenges are, and mostly also, what are your strengths? Because we cannot build on weaknesses. I want to know, what is it that you do well?
Thanks, Carmela. And since we're already running late, this is going to be our last question. Honghui.
Thank you. So I have 2 very simple questions. In the case, if you send an email to, the first question is, if you send an email to a bunch of people and there are 2 people happen to have the same last name, same first name. So if I use the full name in the email, does it count as, does it considered as implied?
Wow, this is a great question. I love it. You know, in here, I'm actually going to give a guess. I'll tell you what I would do. I would just put the first letter of their last name.
Okay, like John A, John B.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And again, there is no, and by the way, just to let everybody know, email writing has no national rules. It's like the wild, wild west. We're just building this plane as we're flying it, just to make everybody's lives easier. So I don't have a scientific answer for that or a research-based answer for what to do when you have 2 people with the same name. But what I would do is what I suggested to you.
Great suggestion. Thank you. And my second question is, sometimes I saw people put like, hi, hey guys, hey folks. Those are not very formal. For hey guys, does it include women there? Or usually, like if you have a mixed group of males and females, like can you use guys? Or you should use guys and girls?
No, actually, I think, hey guys, it's going to be the same as, to me, it's the same as yo, yo guys. Just put hi so-and-so. I don't, guys, usually it's just something that includes the women as well, even though it is absolutely not DEI.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, got it. Just want to ask your
yeah, hey y'all, I like that as well. Thank you, Shelley. Yes, But if this is what it's among a small group, you know each other and it's camaraderie and you want to be part of the group, just answer them back, hey guys, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much for everyone who stayed late and asking great questions. And thanks so much, Carmela, for sharing with us so many great tips in answering all these questions. And
so I have a question for you. How many more people do we have in terms of questions? If we have one more, I see Sunny in here the hand has been very, very high for a long time. I'll just take that one question.
Sure.
Well, thank you very much. My question is, in a group email setting, sometimes, let's say we receive an email and there will be coworkers immediately respond with a thank you to the whole team. I consider those as low nutritional, and I try not to do that unless I have a follow-up question. But on the other side, when folks do that, they are a kind of responsive, at least showing, yes, we received your email. We are aware of what you are asking. So what's your take on this situation? Thank you.
I think just like, okay, so I'm going to answer it two ways. Thank you does not give me enough information. And it's lovely, it's polite, but I'd rather hear someone say, got it, I will review it and get back to you. So if you're using thank you to show that this is something that you want to acknowledge the receipt, then my suggestion would be that.
Great advice. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you again, Carmela. Thank you so much. It's always great to talk with you, and thanks for sharing with so many people your great advice. We've already received a lot of thank yous in the chat as well. And before we depart for tonight, I just want to highlight again the event for tomorrow night. It's going to be Lucy Chen. She's one of the top 50 most powerful women in technology, and she has like top executive in Apple, and I've had the opportunity to have one-on-one with her before, and she's so great. She's one of my role models for sure. And I will highly recommend that all of you to tune in tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, and making sure you dial in, and in celebration for the Asian Heritage Month as well.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. We still have
everyone. Thank you, Carmela, and thank you
so much.
Thank you, everybody. Please sign up to Carmela's class, and early bird will expire on this Sunday. 10 people only. We already have a few people sign up already, and then thank you. If you need a special receipt, you can come into me or our company. We will try to accommodate all your requests.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, have a good night and have a good evening, and see you tomorrow.
I believe that we can also have the waiting list that you mentioned.
Okay.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Have a great night.